welcome to Capacity TV. My name is Natalie Bannerman, Deputy Editor at Capacity Media, and we are here live at ITW 2023. And I am delighted to be joined by Michael Wheeler, Executive Vice President at NTT. Michael, thank you for joining us.
It's good to be here, Natalie.
Absolutely. So we're going to start with one of the announcements that we've recently come across, which was that NTT DATA and NTT were combining their services organizations outside of Japan into this new operating company. So talk to me about the reasons for that consolidation.
Certainly. So NTT Ltd was formed about just under 4 years ago, and it was an initial combination of about 30 companies, a number of acquisitions we'd done over the previous 7-8 years, as well as Dimension Data and NTT Communications on a global level. So that was an initial phase of kind of this overall kind of macro reorganization. And so now that we're 4 years into that, roughly, the NTT Data business has a very strong presence in Japan, but also a very strong presence internationally or overseas. And so the goal is to bring together the international part of NTT Data as well as NTT Ltd, which is already the international piece, and bring those together to have a kind of holistic global business that is representing NTT on that level across a full set of products and services as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, speaking specifically about the global IP network, you know, that's the division that you head up. Talk to me about the main focus at the moment, where you're putting those energies.
I guess our focus hasn't changed a lot for a while. I mean, we are operating a global network at a tier 1 level, spreading across 5 continents. We obviously have customers kind of all over the world. In certain cases, those customers are just in one region, but in many cases, we have those same customers connecting to us in 15, 20 locations globally. So our goal is to provide all those customer services. That's our focus on a 24/7, 365 basis, and it's something that we've done for quite a long time. So I think we have a great team doing that. But there's never any lack of excitement on occasion. The last few years we obviously had the pandemic that created a whole different set of kind of challenges in a very short period of time. And our team and I think the industry did a great job with that situation. I'd say now we're a bit back to more steady state, typical just growing the network, managing traffic, adding capacity, managing supply chain challenges that get us there. Those types of things are still the focus of the business.
Yeah. Continuing to do what you guys do best. I love that. I love that. So we know that NTT operates one of the largest IP networks. So how do you manage change and complexity? And I know that's probably a very loaded question, but
Yeah, there's a lot of different kinds of change, obviously. So I'll pick a couple examples, but this probably won't be all inclusive. And there's obviously operational changes as we move infrastructure around, or as we add infrastructure or deploy new infrastructure. We obviously have kind of a well-documented set of processes and procedures to put us in a place to do those things effectively. Whenever we're doing that, we really want to minimize any impact for customers. As you're moving infrastructure, there are definitely times you're going to have a maintenance that'll occur where service will have to be turned down in a coordinated fashion, and then we want to turn it back up as quickly as it can, and hopefully within a couple of hours in most cases. So that's one part of change. I think the other change that we continue to be challenged with, but also benefit by, is the change in our organization, our team. We really have seen a lot of new folks joining the team this last year, and so it's important that we make sure that we do a great job of communicating to them our strategy, our vision for the business, where we sit inside the bigger NTT umbrella of companies and organizations, and make sure that they understand what our value proposition is to the market. So the people change is probably the most impactful in long-term ways. The operational changes are more kind of impactful day to day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So network security, now that's something that's synonymous for me with the NTT whenever I think about it. You guys are kind of like the authority in that. So that's a big area of concern, I think, for everybody right now. What trends do you kind of see in this area, and what's your company doing to help meet those, trends?
Yeah, so network security has been a major factor for, I think, everybody in the internet space for a long time. We certainly take it very seriously. It's an important part of what we focus on, and important for our customers as well. So, we obviously need to protect our network just because it's our business and it's the heart of our business, but we also need to make sure we protect the service that our customers are receiving, as well, and have a secure environment for them to do that. So, as far as changes go or trends, I would say that, we we haven't seen any massive new trends other than the bad actors continue to find new ways to be bad actors,
right,
and we continue to try to find new ways to contend with those actions. And so that's the kind of cat and mouse game that kind of perpetually exists and has for a very long time. We are seeing, in general terms, a lot more small, short duration attacks that are somewhat targeted, as opposed to really massive, large scale attacks. Those still exist, but they aren't as significant maybe in some ways as they once were. Part of that's the scale of the network and the scale of the broader internet as well that helps contend with that. And there's more and more people that are doing things to be proactive about managing their security. And that's exceptionally helpful. So those are the things that we think are important. We obviously have a whole set of products and services. Our DDoS protection service platform is kind of a multi-layered set of options for customers. There's a lot of bespoke configuration that we can do when they subscribe to that service, and a lot of ways in which customers use it, along with other things they may do as well. Security is not a single lock on a door. That may also be a camera or a light or a motion detector or many other things. And so big dog barking, so it's important that every company assess their security risk based on what their parameters are. And they're not all the same. They're going to be different.
Yeah, absolutely. When you were talking about bad actors there, I thought we were going to venture into the AI space, but I think that's a combo for another day, right? Absolutely, absolutely. So you are also a part of the ITW Global Leaders Forum. It'd be remiss of us not to mention that, which meets, regularly. You guys discuss so many things. What benefits have you seen from this kind of closer industry collaboration? And that's actually something that I'm hearing a lot here at ITW.
Yeah, I mean, the GLF, or Global Leaders Forum, has been something that I've been a part of since the early days of it, and it's really evolved over time. I mean, I think when we initially got together, we weren't really sure what it was gonna be or what it was gonna become, and that's definitely in a very different place now. I mean, we kind of established a regular cadence of meeting, like you said. So here at ITW, at Capacity Europe, at Capacity Middle East, and then many of us see each other at other events and other things through the course of the year. But that's when we actually have board meetings, and we ultimately established a board, and we have a constitution. I'm actually part of the governance committee for that as well. So it's a very important forum for leaders of international carriers kind of all over the world to get a chance to have discussion and talk in a really candid way. We obviously are thoughtful about sharing information we can't share and is confidential or whatever, but I think it is a really good place to talk about emerging trends we're seeing. And even we just yesterday in our last meeting, we talked a lot about what people are doing in regards to hybrid work. Are people requiring people to come back to work a certain number of days a week? Are they making it optional? Are they just letting people do whatever they want to do? And those discussions are great because we're all in similar kinds of businesses in a similar ecosystem, and hearing kind of what other people are doing and the reasons why is incredibly valuable. And I think that open sharing is very positive for the industry. People aren't generally employees of one company their entire career. They tend to be in multiple companies, even in the international telecom space. And it's a benefit for everybody, I think, in that regard. So it's been a great thing to be a part of, and I think that you'd hear the same thing from basically everybody who's kind of been an active member of the GLF.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, then my last question, and again, kind of a loaded one, kind of expecting you to have a crystal ball here, but where do you see the industry going in the next 3 to 5 years? Can you even make that prediction in this current climate?
I think 3 to 5 years is a long time in our world, and especially in the internet part of the telecom space. I would say that in the most obvious things are there's going to be more traffic and more utilization of the traffic in different ways, more applications. I think those are kind of obvious knowns. I think that the things that are unknowns, and you mentioned it, so I'll jump on to you raising AI and that whole topic. That's something that certainly is going to shape a number of things, not just about the internet, but about technology in general. And I think that it's very early to try to predict exactly how that's going to play out or how it'll be utilized. I mean, there certainly are some aspects of different businesses that could argue they're using it today, but I think in the most basic, probably rudimentary ways. And I think it is something that does have the capability and power, and in some ways the concern around how it can impact what we're doing from a technology perspective in the overall space. But that's probably the most, I think, the easiest thing to point out, but without any real clear understanding of what it's going to do and how it's going to affect things.
Absolutely. I think we're all kind of waiting to see what the future's going to bring. So Thank you so much for your time, Michael. It was a great conversation. And thank you so much to everybody for watching.